Hey, Maria.
Hi, Dean. It's great
Maria,
to have you.
thank you. Tell folks a little bit about you.
Sure. I'm a CMO and a growth lead working primarily with tech startups and taking them 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to
Hmm,
100. Communities at startups, that's what I love.
okay. So I'm going to set us up with a bit of a hypothetical, and then you can walk me through it. Okay. So
Sure.
imagine that you've signed a 1 year engagement with a new client, and today's day one.
Great.
Tell me about one thing that you like to get established very quickly, or one problem that you normally find and you have to go kill it really quickly.
Great. On day one, it might seem like a waste of time, but it's actually a game changer if you can build these relationships and start working on them as it's your number one job.
Right.
So, really making sure that you love the team and the team loves you back. It doesn't always happen, but it makes this so much easier. And um, in fact, I make my priority for the first week to really get to know the team at large, my immediate team, and in fact, who's doing what, and make sure that they know that I'm on their side. From there on, everything goes smoothly.
You know what? This is episode 148. I think we've had about 270 guests at this point, and that is the first time anyone's ever talked about loving the team or the team loving them.
No way.
Interesting.
I thought it would be so
No,
so essential because
no.
or
I'm
maybe
not saying it isn't. I'm saying it's rare for someone to say it. Okay, so imagine this then. Imagine that we're in the same scenario, and I'm the CEO of your client company. Okay, and we're having our official kickoff. You and I in my office, or getting coffee, and I say, look, um, because you're a fractional CMO and I'm not a fractional CEO, you deal with a lot more CEOs than I deal with CMOs,
probably.
right? Is there anything as CEO I should start doing now that you're here? Or is there anything I should stop doing now that you're here to make sure we get the best, we get our money's worth from you?
Great. Well, I'm assuming I'm not the first CMO on in the company. So, like I would say that if I'm the first CMO in the company, that has also
Mhm.
actually has also happened, like that, like the first senior marketing hire,
Right.
then we should really make sure that your numbers are straight and you should finally start paying attention to that. If I'm not the first CMO on the job in the company, then let's learn what worked and what didn't. This is kind of a essential, but yeah, if that's the first time you're bringing a CMO on, it's time to start treating analytics
Hmm.
seriously and like getting to know what story they're telling you as a CEO.
Have I imagine there's always at least there's always an initial conversation once an engagement starts with the CEO, right? Has sort of the what gets talked about changed over the last couple of years? The economy has been crazy the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Has that sort of changed a bit, or are CEOs sort of like shifting their focus, or are they what they want marketing to accomplish? Is marketing getting a longer runway or a shorter runway, or it hasn't changed? Like, what do you
Um,
notice
that's
trend wise?
mhm. That's interesting because I think like the things have changed very much from industry to industry.
Okay.
So to give you an example, e-com, like e-commerce startups and just e-commerce businesses are moving faster and faster. So essentially, there would be a lot more space for experimentation in the past, but now we already know what's working. So just
Right.
go and do this. And that's true for many other industries. There is no time to play the ball and experiment. Let's just go because we have all these beautiful blueprints. If we don't, just go and ask. You don't need to reinvent things. And that's where I see marketing and growth going. Just like, don't reinvent it. Take somebody else's playbook that
Right.
already worked. So, because why do you do all these things? Why do you need to learn from
Yeah.
zero?
Okay. So I have a couple of fill in the blank questions. Your answer can be as long as it needs to be. I like these because there's not much work on my part, but there's way more work on your part. So here's the first question. Just like finish the question for me. Finish the sentence. Many clients just don't understand what?
Amazing. Many clients just do not understand attribution.
Mm,
I've got CMOs listening to this. I'm sure everybody's heart aches for this because you think that you just, I don't know, like run a marketing campaign and that's where your clients come from and just show me the results of this campaign.
mm-hmm.
Nobody understands the attribution. Sometimes even your entire marketing team doesn't
Yeah.
because we've got growth. Where is it coming from? We don't always know. Sorry, not sorry.
So the audience, I can tell you, for this podcast is predominantly not marketers. In fact, the
Right.
single largest group are heads of sales, and the second
Mm-hmm.
largest group are founders or CEOs. So I just want to clarify for attribution. Attribution in marketing is being able to say this client that finally signed the contract today did that because
Initially
9 months
discovered
ago
us.
we
Yes.
initiated
They
something
saw
and
our
pulled them
banner.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
and of course,
Maybe we met them at the conference. Maybe
right,
they saw our ad. Maybe they actually got in touch with our sales team. So
yeah,
this is attribution, and marketing and sales are frequently fighting for attribution.
right,
Is it the marketing effort or the sales effort? But even
yeah,
within marketing, and it's very important to understand. So we're implementing, at least like myself and my teams everywhere across the board, analytics, end-to-end analytics to really nail this, to really understand what is working. So attribution is really important, and it's really important that the entire team is on board with the meaningful attribution, because we just want to know what part of our work, what budget chunk
right.
is actually making sense.
Yeah, I think on the spectrum of successfully implementing attribution, probably ecom is the easiest, right? There's a pixel and it
Oh,
follows people
sure.
around.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then at the
Click.
other end of that, the very hardest end would be enterprise B2B, where it might take 18 months to 2 years to finally sign a deal. And that's way too long for most attribution efforts to be able to track somebody. So
Correct.
it's where
Correct.
it's not that it's impossible. It's just the hardest. Certainly
I know.
a lot harder than a Facebook pixel following people around on the internet.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So imagine that we'll change our scenario now. You're on a stage, you're giving a talk to 200 fractional CMOs. Every one of those people only became a fractional CMO yesterday.
Hmm.
They're brand new. They don't know what they're about to face, right? So finish this sentence for me. A fractional CMO starting out today is going to be shocked by what?
Hmm. Um, Fractional CMO starting today is going to be shocked. That got to keep your deal flow coming
Mm-hmm.
even when you're overbooked,
Yeah.
because you never know what life throws at you, and you're only as good of a marketer while you're overbooked. Because that's the definition of a successful marketer. You should be able to do this job for themselves.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll end up in this feast and famine cycle.
No, absolutely. And well, jokes aside, the reality is that most of the clients, at least like in my experience, they stay longer than they initially planned, because
Sure.
projects essentially take longer, and results also take time. And eventually, like if you're happy working together, if you as a fractional CMO did a great job at screening the client and
Mm-hmm.
making sure that they fit your bill, fit your skill set,
Right.
fit, like your life priorities and whatnot. So if you did this job well, there is no reason for them to finish the engagement, unless whatever
Right.
it was like absolutely scheduled. So most clients stay for longer, but at the same time, You've got a plan for the future, and sometimes there will be an overlap that's you didn't foresee. Maybe the client, the contract got extended, or you expected
Or cut
to
short.
finish by this or cut short. Yes.
Mhm.
So anything can happen, and healthy deal flow is just so much better than no deal flow at all.
Yep. Um, okay. So you're talking to a lot of clients all the time. You're talking to prospective clients all the time, some of
Correct.
which will become and some of which you're just going to part ways, right? They're not for you. You're not for them. As they talk to you, marketing is one of those topics where everyone thinks they know something about it.
Correct.
As as companies talk to you, what about marketing that they're telling you do you think is overrated, and what's underrated? Could be a
Oh,
tool,
sure.
a
This is
platform, a strategy.
so
What?
easy.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
easy.
good.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, absolutely. It just happens all the time. Social media, especially for B2B, I
Right.
mean, it's so overrated. Um, and again, like it's one of the spheres, I guess, where most clients have, personal experience. So let's just create shorts, reels,
Yeah.
TikToks. Let's blow on TikTok. You don't want to blow on TikTok. Or let's post on LinkedIn. Our founder is going to post on LinkedIn, and we're just going to get like all these fans. Overrated.
Yeah.
Overrated because not always scalable, depending on the founder, and there's so many moving pieces. So overrated.
All right.
Um, yes. Then,
Underrated or underappreciated for its value is what?
of course, that will go depending on the industry because there's so many different channels that
Sure.
don't always apply.
Mhm.
However, I would say optimizing landing pages, optimizing website, simple changes in messaging. And I know you do messaging really well, but simple changes in messaging sometimes just make such a massive impact that is very difficult. It's a difficult sale to a CEO. Like, we need to
Yeah.
revamp our
It's
messaging.
not
It's like, what
sexy.
do you
It's
mean?
not
It's not
glamorous.
sexy.
It's
Exactly. It's not
blocking and
sexy.
tackling. It's bread and butter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, what do you mean we need to change our messaging? Well, that is actually the value proposition and the type of clients that you're ultimately going to be attracting and selling to. So if it's either attracting them or not, it's either making sense for them or not. So, and then it has also multiple applications, including SEO.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you about a conversation. I've tried to find it. I had a conversation on LinkedIn, like a little LinkedIn chat thing. I've tried to find it and I can't find it. It's killing me because I would love to get back to this person. I don't remember who they were, and but my business is 4 years old today, so it's been 48 months. And this person who didn't know me very well, but like knew how things work, I guess, accurately predicted that by the 4 year mark, half of my revenue would come, like a solid half of my revenue would come from referrals. Right, a conversation
Mhm.
that someone had with someone else that I didn't know about and wasn't a part of, but I end up getting a client from. Other than referrals, as you're talking, as we're talking to fractional CMOs right now, right? What do you have any sort of advice or tips for getting new
Mhm.
clients?
Yeah, sure. Actually, tons. And
Okay.
I frequently chat with new fractional CMOs, and I'd say the major two tips that I always share is number one, find your community that you can tap into. And it doesn't mean that it's a community of fractional CMOs. Maybe it's a community of, maybe it's your high school alumni society where you become the one person known for your skill. Maybe it's your college, maybe it's like the
Mm.
neighborhood even group where you live. So just like go into communities, and you don't have to sell yourself, you just need to be known. Like, volunteer for this community and establish bonds. So, and it's pretty easy because we all
Right,
belong to the communities. So
right.
that's number one. And number two is find a niche platform that could be very similar to communities, but just like make it online because you've got a lot more reach, and it can be more towards the skills that like that are your strongest ones. So maybe again, like if you used to copywriting before you became CMO, maybe that's something you could look into and become like the kind of a top even like mentor some like
Right.
junior copywriters. That's another opportunity. Essentially, for me, and I just want to unpack how this
Yeah,
actually
please.
plays out. I mentor startups, accelerators and incubators. Part of my work is pro bono, depends. Part of my work is paid, and it's not a revenue driver for me, absolutely not. But it's actually keeping me first. It's keeping me more updated with like just entire variety of things that happen in the world, and second, it's a very strong driver of leads because I work with them on like kind of a per hour basis. And later on, I sometimes get to work with them on long term engagement. It's really, um, yeah, it's just a really great way of getting this first meeting through the door.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's really smart. So basically, in marketing terms, you have a low threshold initial purchase,
Absolutely,
and that's also
absolutely,
easy
and
to
they don't even
describe
pay for it.
to other people.
Absolutely. Yeah. In
All
case
right.
of startups, they don't even pay for it. It sometimes gets sponsored
Right.
by their
Incubator or
investors, by their
right.
incubators, by their accelerators. So and they get
Mm,
a taster work experience with me for
right.
maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, depending on the pockets of their accelerator. And then we sometimes continue working directly.
All right. We're gonna wind down in a second, but if there's one thing that you wanted to say or could say to any company that's looking to hire or looking for a fractional CMO, I mean, right now the thing about, I mean, it was only 24 months ago. It was almost impossible to find anybody. It was hard to find people in every field. Right, unemployment was like ridiculously low, and secondly, there weren't nearly as many fractional CMOs 2 years ago as there are now.
Correct.
So, so now companies have too many people who say that they're a fractional CMO and need to figure out like how someone if someone's a good fit for them and if that's like a good quality candidate. Any advice to on the other side for the people who are looking
Yeah.
for fractional CMOs?
Yeah, definitely. So make sure that um, you would be comfortable working with them, even if they were a full-time team member,
Mm-hmm.
because you want them to a certain extent be almost your full-time team member, at least culturally, and apply all the same principles and make sure that you give them all the same accesses. This should just make sure that they're as productive as every other member of your team, and you'll get the most out of this and basically every setback and more.
All right, no, that's good advice. All right, so who should be contacting you these days, and how should they do it?
Startup founders, definitely. Startup founders, if you've figured out what you're doing, but don't know just yet how to get there in terms of the community volume, the growth, and possibly even product market fits, we can definitely figure it out together because it's also a skill.
Okay, and I guess uh, based on what we've talked about today, we would also add in private equity companies, venture capital
Oh,
firms, and
absolutely.
incubators, right?
Definitely. Definitely. I'm always happy to partner with
No.
incubators, accelerators. I really get excited when I'm taking care of early stage startups. So, anyone pre seed, seed. So, this is definitely, I've been doing this for
Yeah,
over 7 years.
takes a
So,
certain kind of personality to want to continually deal with new startups.
oh God,
So
I know. I've been asked, and seems like I still like it.
good. Okay, and then what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? What's the preferred way?
get on my website. There's a link, and there's a way to drop me a message or just get a call, and we'll brainstorm everything together.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. This is great talking to you today, and happy
Great talking to
holidays.
you too, Dean. Yeah, happy
Bye.
holidays.